A third SEC head coach fired in Brian Kelly at LSU, and a scary good SEC Week 10 slate. Time to get the squad together on a Halloween edition.
You're talking ball with the SEC squad. From Alabama to Tennessee, from Georgia to Oklahoma, from Auburn to Texas, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming SEC weekend. It's the SEC squad, and we have a seat for you. Hurt feelings and thin skin are prohibited. Squad up, you're part of the SEC squad.
Welcome into the SEC squad. Sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and join us as we get you ready for another week talking all things SEC. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Download the FanDuel app today. Let's welcome in our squad this week on a Halloween edition. Let's get Jay Smith from Locked On Sooners in here. Nobody dressed up. Stephen Willis, Locked On Ole Miss. Corey Burton, Locked On Vandy. John Neighbors, Locked On Razorbacks. Chris Gordy here, Locked On SEC. Eric Kane will join us in a little bit from Locked On Vols. Gentlemen, welcome in. It is heading down the back stretch of the season here. SEC Week 10. It's not the sexiest list of games when you look at them, but some sneaky good matchups. We're going to get into those, but let's start here, guys, as we always do in our first segment. A prediction for your team this week. Not necessarily a score, but something you think could happen in your game. Jay Smith, we'll start with you.
We're going to run the dang ball.
Yeah, Xavier Robinson did a little bit of that last week for Oklahoma.
That's all I'm going to say. We're going to actually do it. We're going to physically do it in a game that we should do it in because we should just run the ball. Tennessee
elite offense, maybe not so much defense. So maybe you're on to something there. Stephen Willis, prediction for the Ole Miss Rebs.
This is a Kejuan Lacey star turn game against South Carolina. I think he will go for plus 150 and a couple of touchdowns in the game, and Ole Miss will have the best looking uniforms of the weekend.
What are the unis they're wearing?
They're wearing these Realtree helmets with this pattern. So it's going to be white helmets, this kind of camouflage. They're doing all that stuff, and they'll have a red jersey. And we do not know exactly what the pants are right now.
Kejuan Lacey, by the way, number one in the SEC in rushing touchdowns with 12. Ahmad Hardy with 11. So he is sitting atop that list.
You're welcome, Kejuan.
Corey Burton, give me a prediction for Vanderbilt.
I think we go into Austin and pull out a dub.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
We're going to get to the preview a little bit later. It's something in the game you think happens?
Something in the game that happens. I think Vandy's offense gets it going. I think they score more than 17 points. I think they're in the 24, 28 point range.
Okay. John Neighbors, man, feel for you. The Bobby Petrino honeymoon is a little bit over. He's coaching close in games.
Yeah, well, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades for one. And I think this weekend is going to be up against another defeated over team in Mississippi State at home. But it doesn't matter because I'm a Jets fan too. And as they say for the Jets, it stands for just in the season. And I think that's what Razorback fans are just hopeful for.
Yeah, it's the Razorbacks, obviously without a head coach. Bobby Petrino as the interim, and now a couple of interims going to join him. Florida, we know Billy Napier got fired. Florida's actually going to play a game this week without Billy Napier. It feels like it's been forever. Of course, they went into their bye week. And another school coming out of the weekend, this one kind of a shocker, as Brian Kelly out at LSU after an embarrassing home loss to Texas A&M. Gents, how shocked were you when you saw LSU giving Brian Kelly the axe?
Well, I guess I'll lead the way on this one. I'm a little surprised that they actually decided to pull the trigger so quickly, but at the same time, I recognize and realize that he's not really liked. So it makes it a lot easier for you to want to stomach some of those situations. And then when the strength coach you fired goes to another school, they come in and abuse you, and the other head coach reminds everyone that you've outscored them like 60-6 in the second half of both games you've played the last 2 years. That's kind of a recipe of, this is a trend. This is not going to end, and it's going to probably continue because it seems like we're getting out-muscled. I see LSU winning, going to 9-3 this season. But that right there was one of those, we can't, this is never going to get better. We're going to have to move on. Plus, when we know the biggest issue is, truth be told, the offensive coordinator / QB coach, and you tell them, no, I'm not firing him, even though it looks like things have gotten worse progressively. Yeah, it was about time for you to go. That's kind of where I saw it.
They did not delay the inevitable. The team was quitting, and that was going to happen sooner rather than later. So they decided, hey, let's go ahead and end it now. Let's go ahead and get this search going so we can get in on whatever sweepstakes they want to get on, whether it's the John Gruden sweepstakes, the James Franklin sweepstakes, or whoever out there.
I don't think they won on either of those sweepstakes, but go ahead.
Maybe the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes.
Yeah, that one probably more likely.
Yeah, I guess everybody's on that sweepstakes.
I wouldn't say likely, but yeah, that they would probably want that. Yes.
I mean, everybody would want that.
Yeah, everybody would want that.
Well, I think that it's a combination, kind of like like Brian Kelly sucked, man. That guy was so unlikable, and it was a bad deal. And you can overcompensate a lot, and you can overcome a lot if you win with it. But I think it was a bad combination of like a bad personality and Brian Kelly, but also the LSU expectation of like, well, every other coach that we've had before has won a title within year 2 or 3, so therefore we better win one.
Well, by year 4, this was year 4, you know.
Well, yeah, which I'm saying is like that's their expectation on it. If you don't do it, there's a problem. But, you know, it's as I've never won a championship with my school, so I can't really speak on that front. But I can speak on the fact that sometimes if you continue to take things into consideration the same way that it's been for 10 to 20 to 30 years, and it's like, well, it has to be the same way here, it could end up biting you. So LSU, it's still to me the best, if not one of the best jobs in college football. But at the same time, I feel like, are they going to be able to get who they want like they think they are? I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure about it.
Yeah, just a real quick thought before we go to Steven. The A&M model is one that's interesting, right? Because Jimbo was the high-paid, massive buyout to get rid of him, and they go the Mike Elko route. And on the surface, he's the Duke coach, right? Like, and they went cheaper. I want to say he was coming into this year as the 32nd highest-paid coach. I wonder if that's the route to go. Instead of chasing Lane and all these $11, $12 million a year coaches, go with the up-and-comer, and in this case, A&M had a relationship with Elko because he was their previous DC, but like get the $7, $8 million guy if you're LSU, and then surround him with elite coordinators. Colin Klein is a big-time OC under Elko at A&M. Like that might be the new route to go in this NIL age, and let's save some dollars for the players because that's really who should be getting the bulk of this, not these idiot agents and coaches.
Yeah, you've got Scott Woodward. He has a buyout that he paid to Jimbo Fisher, and now this one to Brian Kelly. It comes out to like $130 million total or something like that. It's absolutely astronomical. I knew this was over the moment that the game ended against Texas A&M, and they were audibly chanting that you could hear on the speaker, "Fire Brian Kelly." I mean, the whole stadium was going nuts. Like everybody that stayed in Tiger Stadium was chanting that. It's like they are about to act because LSU's not going to put up with that. That's something – not since Curly Hallman back in the days have they put up with this repeatedly. But I do think LSU, I think they are going to go the Elko route. I would be curious to see if it was somebody like Kenny Dillingham that you just go and pluck that. If
I like him a lot.
Yeah, that feels the direction they go because they just had their Jimbo essentially with Brian Kelly. They have to go the other way, but they also going the other way. There's a good chance they're going to get this right because you're not just, hey, we're going to throw money at the problem. They're going to find somebody that, hey, he'll take $5, $6, $7 million a year, but he'll be very good at what he does. Is this guy worth it? Is this guy going to be able to take this program to other levels? I trust LSU to do that. The question is, how involved will Scott Woodward be?
That's the question.
That is the question.
Well, let me just add, the governor's involved, and they're trying to get a new school president there. The rumor is Scott Woodward might be out. So we'll see how this plays out. There might be a new AD there.
If Scott's gone, then I think that LSU gets it right. If Scott's there, you're probably going to get Jimbo Fisher.
They're not going to hire
Oh
Jimbo
my gosh. Oh my
Should we forget?
That would be
he hired him at A&M. I'm just saying. I know it sounds ridiculous.
He's a former
I'm just saying.
LSU OC too, but I don't think that.
Well, like you said, that's the reason why Scott's gone. That's why we won't expect that because he's gone.
Yeah, but to me, that again, it goes back to, and I'm not saying LSU is going to be guilty of this, but they just have to be careful of it, of the arrogance that's like, well, we're LSU, we can get whoever we want. Because it's different nowadays. It's different nowadays because of this. I've kind of put it out, but it's like, listen, these high profile programs with these high expectations and pressure with all the support forever has been dominating everything. But I think we've seen just a major shift to where some of these mid or a little above average programs are right here, but they're still getting the high level support. Coaches may be looking at those types of jobs as a lot more appealing because they don't have to deal with the nonsensical expectations of like, well, this is how it's always been, and we win at this high level, where they're like, I can go over like with Lane Kiffin's doing at Ole Miss and such, or Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. They're like, I can go to these places that if I win 9 games, they'll build me a statue, and I still have the high level support, and I don't have to deal with the nonsense of dealing with governors and dealing with all of that. I'm not saying this will happen with LSU. I'm just saying the caution that needs to be had of just, well, we can get whoever we want, and who wouldn't want to come here. You got to make sure that you're able to provide plenty of patience, but also plenty of support at the same time.
Well, the only thing I was going to add is go look at any of the coaching searches of the last decade. No one ever gets the first name that they want. You always have to end up settling. Now, nobody will say publicly they settled, but Bama last year called Sark. They called Mike Norvell. That's a fact. They settled for Kalen DeBoer. It's working out. It's been great so far. Well, it's been great this year. It wasn't great last year. But, like, you never get the first fish. The big fish is always the big name first, and then you never really end up having to settle. So we'll see, and I'll ask you this, John. Does it kind of scare you with LSU being open now, Florida being open, maybe Auburn will still open? Does it scare you on who Arkansas will target?
No, because we'll get it wrong no matter what. But, the thing is like, but to your point, I've talked about this on my Locked On Razorbacks, is like, it goes to the thing of like, I'm not saying that Arkansas is going to hire a better coach than anybody, but I'm saying that if they're serious, which is what I've been hearing about, if they're serious about providing the financial support and doing it the right way, it just may be a job that's more appealing than what it previously has been, because you're seeing these examples of other schools with these coaches and coaches that aren't leaving, that are having this high level of success at those schools without the expectation. And I think quality of life goes a lot into that. It's like, because all coach, what they want at the end of the day, do they want money? Of course they do, but they want to be set up for success. Yeah. And if you can go to a program where you're set up for success, and the pressure and the amount of mouths that are in your ear talking about all this, you don't want to deal with that nonsense. I'm just saying that there may be some more appeal to some of these other jobs where they can still have high level support and compete at a high level. And all it's going to take, guys, is that one, and maybe this year, but that one mid-level Ole Miss or whoever team that wins a championship this year. If that ever happens, because we still see Georgia and Texas and all that. If that happens, I think it's going to shift a whole lot, similar to what happened when Boise State beat Oklahoma in that Fiesta Bowl. It just changes everyone's perception of everything.
Yeah, and same with NIL with players. I think some of that also affects coaches, because they can go to these jobs, much to what John just said. That's another avenue of it, a part of that support, where they feel like, hey, I can go win at Vanderbilt because you're in Nashville, or I can go win at Georgia Tech down in Atlanta, because they're starting to realize, hey, we got a lot of resources around us. Brent Key is a Georgia Tech guy. He may not leave. Like that type of situation is like, hey, he's happy at Georgia Tech. He may not go chasing the Florida job or the whatever job. But yeah, there's something to being comfortable from a coach's perspective, and they want that. And I 100% agree with everything John just said. So
yeah,
Corey,
I think quality of life is critical. And real quick, I think it's also
somebody offers to double your pay, you're going though, right? You're going to another podcast.
I don't know. I don't know if in today's day and age, if they would, especially with how complicated things are in just college football in general with NIL, and it feels like there's instability when it comes to how the conference and playoffs is going to be. And at some point we're going to have super conferences. It's like a lot of these coaches are really looking at I prefer a little bit more quality of life. If not, I don't see Clark Lee leaving his alma mater. I don't see Brent Key leaving his alma mater either. I think those things are going to be important. I think Lane Kiffin has found a home at Ole Miss where he's happy. He's going to win a lot. He's going to be able to get recruits like he wants. So yeah, especially because the school has proven that we'll go shop retail on top of wholesale. So we'll go in the portal and we'll get recruits. So it's going to be tough to really start to pull some of these coaches away when they realize that I don't have to watch my back every 2 to 3 years.
Well, and to your point about that, hey, if you get paid double, would you go to another podcast? Well, here's the thing. is it sounds good just on the surface. But if I go to the other podcast and it's like, all right, well, every single day people are going to be criticizing you if your numbers aren't better than what it was the year before. And every single day they're going to say, if you say a word wrong, you're going to have to fix it and you're going to have to go back in and edit it. And every single day that you're having, well, your graphics aren't the same, your face looks like crap, all this stuff, you're going to be like, this is not worth it to me. So I feel like that there could be a level of that thing where it's like, I'm happy because I have the creative freedom to do what I want and how we want and how we build. But, again, I've always, the whole thing from the Dark Knight was, it's not about the money, it's about sending a message. Well, in this case, it is about the money. The money sends the message, but it doesn't equate to the quality of life that a lot of people want.
One thing, before we do this real quick, everybody has Lane Kiffin at the top of their list. I mean, every list that comes out, you see Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has an offer to where he will be the highest paid football coach in college football on his desk, right around that territory right now. So any type of a pay bump for him, we're talking $20 million, which isn't going to happen. He is also completely locked in and hasn't done anything to even hint that he is distracted with what's going on. And if Ole Miss makes the playoff, which they'll be double-digit favored against every team they play, I know you're smiling, John. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But if they make that playoff, we're talking about late December. And with everything going with the transfer portal and all of that, you would have to pay $17, $18 million and wait until January. Lane Kiffin ain't going anywhere in that situation.
Well, I question making him highest paid. He shouldn't make more than Kirby and Ryan Day, who have national championships.
He shouldn't, but he also isn't at Georgia.
Yeah. Well, how about he makes a playoff at Ole Miss first? How about that? And he's in a good shape.
I'm all for it. Either he is going to make the playoffs at Ole Miss, which it's getting close to statue worthy for him, or he's going to have the biggest choke job in Ole Miss history and not make the playoffs.
Did it last year?
Yeah. I mean, back-to-back years. Either way, I mean, that is exactly what we're looking at right now.
Then he's going, hey, reach out to Florida LSU. Let's see if we can make this happen. All
right,
are
you going to hire Ole Miss's coach that missed the playoffs in that situation back-to-back?
Yeah,
years?
He's still sexy.
Exactly.
The jobs are open. They're looking for a coach. All right, when we return, guys, a loaded SEC Week 10. We'll get to that coming up next. Back to the squad in just a second, but first, the NBA season is back, and there's no better place to get into the action than with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel, they have live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. Keeps everything more exciting, every game more exciting, especially when your team is making that late push. And of course, they got all the professional sports up there, college as well. All these great SEC lines, they got all of them each and every week right there at FanDuel. If you've never signed up before, you might want to think about doing it. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So just head to FanDuel.com, sign up, and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. SEC squad are all along here. Welcoming our buddy Eric Kane, Locked on Vols. He joins the party. And gents, let's get into 6 SEC games this weekend. Let's start previewing the first one. And why don't we start with Corey, who's got Vanderbilt at Texas? To me, this is the fun game of the week. SEC Nation is heading to Austin. Arch is in concussion protocol. It will be Matthew Caldwell against Vandy, but the Vandy train just keeps rolling here. Corey, you found a way last week, 7-1. Top 10 in the country. You can't end this train this week, right?
No, you can't, because the things that you did last week to find a way to win are the same things that I think that you can present problems to Texas. I don't think Texas's defense is quite as good as Missouri's, especially on the edge. Missouri has two of the best edge guys that I've seen in this conference with Zion Young and Damon Wilson. So they can get something going. If they can control the ball a little bit, they'll put pressure on Texas's offense, who struggled to find an identity. I think there's something there. So, yeah, I'm very much excited. The train is very much on the tracks. It's rolling. Clark Lee's doing a hell of a job, and here we go. I'm pumped, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty conflicted because if Caldwell has a big game, that place would just absolutely like nuclear bomb explode if that happened. If Texas's offense looked competent, oh my gosh, I would love to see that. But on the other hand, how fun would a 10-1 Vanderbilt versus a 9-2 Tennessee be? Eric,
that would be amazing. That would be absolute
would be
cinema.
Well, that would.
We need, from a Tennessee's perspective, I mean, you need Vanderbilt to keep winning. I mean, let's be real here. Like, Tennessee lost to Georgia in a game it could have won 17 times. It lost to Alabama on the road. It looked pretty bad in that game. You got to beat Oklahoma this week. Okay, that'd be a ranked win. Tennessee, can it beat Florida on the road? It hadn't since 2003, but say you win that game, 10-2 should be good enough to get you in the SEC, but you need Vanderbilt to kind of be packing a little bit of a punch there at the end of the year, right? That'd be the second ranked win. That makes your resume look a little bit better. So there's literally no doubt at 10-2 Tennessee would get in. So yeah, I mean, I never want Vanderbilt to win, but you kind of want Vanderbilt to keep winning. Therefore, you beat Vanderbilt at the end of the season, and it makes your resume look that much better.
Yeah, I've done this all season, so I know everyone's going to really hate me for it, and I have no problem with it this year because I'm rarely ever right. Told y'all Vanderbilt was going to be a problem this year, man. I'm excited for the
He told me earlier today, he was like, I told you Joey Aguilar was going to be great. I told you.
See, hey, look, I am rarely right. That was the things that I just knew when I saw it, the way it lined up. And this will be a fun one, just as Steven said. If Caldwell goes out there and has a game, oh my God, things are going to explode in Texas. And I honestly believe Sarkisian's gone if that happens, because that's going to be a massive indictment just in general of everything that's been going on there if he shows out. They lose, he's probably still gone anyway. Actually, I probably think he's gone regardless. I really think that it's at this point he's just stressed out and he's ready to do something that's a lot simpler, which is, coaching the NFL. I know that he can convince them to pay him like they're paying Jim Harbaugh, which is like $11 million or $12 million or something like that. So he won't lose much money going into the NFL. They'll figure it out if they really want him, if they're serious. But I do think Vanderbilt's going to give them a problem because I don't know if Texas offense is going to be that competent against how good this Vanderbilt defense has been playing. And as Eric mentioned, this is important. They both need to be as close to 10-1 and 9-2 as possible in that final game, because that would be absolute cinema. I need that. Inject that, please.
Yeah, and hold on, Chris. You guys are going to get a little bit of dose of what Matt Caldwell can do, because their game plan is, hey, obviously backup quarterback, force the game into his hands, make him be the hero, make him beat you, make him actually force that issue. So we're going to see if he can do that really quick. And also, do not punt.
Yeah, don't to Ryan Niblett. Yeah, I mean, it's stupid.
Yeah. Well, I'll also say this too, real quick. First off, congratulations to Vanderbilt to finally catching up to Arkansas since 2012, having the most SEC wins, second most SEC wins. And so it's great. Not anything I count on or anything, but still, it'll be the funniest thing though if Vanderbilt ends up winning this game. Funnier than any other win that they have this year. Because it's always funny when you beat Texas, but to go in there and beat Texas and essentially in their season. Like, I don't know why they're
their season in their house.
Right, in their house. And to be Vanderbilt, and it's, again, no offense, but it's Vanderbilt. They have just so much pride, all the money that they have. I mean, they have so much money, they could spit on the kids if they wanted to. And they're going to be over here, like, losing to Vanderbilt at home, ending the season, chaos. Just make every job open and have some fun with it. It'll be a great offseason.
Well,
let me come over to the Titans. Yeah.
Let me defend Texas real quick. Arch has not been ruled out yet. There is a chance he could go. He just had his best performance of the season. That second half against Mississippi State was very impressive. If Texas can win out, they're a playoff team. But that's a big if. I mean, you got to get through Vandy. You still have to go to Georgia next week. And then, of course, finish with A&M at home in the last week. Now, I think they can beat A&M in Austin, but those other ones are going to be tough.
You skipped a game somewhere in there, Gordy.
Oh, Arkansas.
Hey, Arkansas
can score. All right,
they possibly could. They can score.
Yeah, and remember, Vanderbilt has a winning record all time against Texas.
All right, well, let's speed it up a little because we got 5 more games to get to, and unless you guys want to make this a 5-hour episode, just ask you to be quick when we talk the games. Eric, let's jump to OU at Tennessee.
Yeah, big game. Obviously, we were talking about Texas just a minute ago. If Texas wins out, it's a college football playoff team. If Texas loses this weekend, it's done. If Tennessee loses this weekend, it's done. If Oklahoma loses this weekend, it's done. college football playoff. You can't win the championship. You can't get in the playoff this weekend, but you can play yourself out of it. And this is what this game is. And, aside from the game, it's, night at Neyland. First night game at Neyland all year. Can you freaking believe that? Spooky Rocky Top's going to be playing. It's going to be awesome. Dark mode. It's going to be a show. A lot of extra juice in the stadium if you even need any more. And plus, Josh Heupel's playing Oklahoma, and this game means more to him than any game he will ever coach in his life. This game always means that much more. So I'm excited to see what happens. Tennessee's defense is not good. A lot of points are going to be scored. John Mateer looks like a shell of himself since the injury, but he will look like the Heisman frontrunner he was at the beginning of the season against this Tennessee defense. Having said that, the defense will create a couple takeaways and maybe even score a touchdown off that takeaway, because that's what Tennessee's defense does well, and it will also give up about 40 points. I'm excited to see what this offense looks like. I think this can be a high-scoring football game. I think Tennessee's got to run the football, and I think a big start is critical, because I feel like some of the big games at home this year, Tennessee hasn't started off like the way you'd like, at least defensively, and so it kind of took some air out of the stadium a little bit. I feel like Tennessee's going to need this crowd in a massive way, but I think this is going to be a big one. I think Tennessee's defense needs to make a couple of stops, couple of takeaways, but more than that, I think Tennessee's going to have to score at least 35, and I know that Oklahoma's defense is really good, but hey, Ole Miss put up 34 against them last week, and so I think Tennessee's offense can certainly do something to that tune.
Jay, I wanted to
that's
ask
the thing.
you this.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask you about Mateer and his hand and the confidence that he has in the mental aspect of still coming back from that injury. Is he progressing better towards that? Is that, that's got to be a big factor, right?
No, there's nothing wrong with his hand. His hand's about 100%.
Well, I'm talking about
it's his head. Yeah, it's 100% his head. And I hope he progressed. I hope he figures some of this stuff out, because that's going to be the most critical part, right? Like when you go back, I went back and watched some of the All-22 of the Ole Miss game, and literally had dudes running wide open. He just didn't look their direction. Like he just missed it. It was flat out it's like he had spaghetti brains the entire time. And I was kind of even nervous to wonder if he had a concussion or not. And that's not me saying that lightly. He just did not look like he was looking anywhere. And as soon as the pocket, because if you give a defensive line, I don't care whose line it is, you give them 5 seconds, they're going to make it collapse, period. And so in the first two, you got to start figuring out where you can go. And he started locking in on receivers immediately and just standing there and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then, of course, Princewell went in there and started smacking him upside his head. So I'm fearful. I don't think he has that, but he talked about it after practice on Monday and said, I just got to do better with my eyes, and I got to do better about, scanning it and getting rid of the ball. And it is feeling just like, the SEC short group is feeling a lot like last year. It's exactly what it looks like.
Jay, don't worry, man. You know what the perfect remedy for that is? A Tennessee defense. Okay,
you might be right. And so
there you go.
If Mateer has a big game, there's a chance Oklahoma can pull it out. What I'm truly curious is that, did this defense learn its lesson against Ole Miss? Lane and me and Steven talked about this, in the crossover and everything, and afterwards on the roundtable. Lane had the perfect game plan. He slowed down. 35 minutes of time, he just sat there and he held the ball. They waited before they snapped it. They just took their time, and we weren't prepared for that. That was literally all scheming. Lane is a fast-paced guy, similar to Heupel. That's usually at tempo. They didn't do it. They were smart. They just said, we're going to take our time, and we're going to be smart about it. And then Trinidad Chambliss just picked us apart, something we weren't ready for. So we'll see if Heupel does a similar
Your boy Seth
strategy
Luttrell is not going to slow it down this week, all right?
Oh, he probably won't. He's going to try to run it up, and that may be what's detrimental, but we'll see. I need Joey Aguilar to also turn the ball over, too. That way it's a lot more fun. I think it'll be a better party if both of us turn it over to each other.
Gordy, I know we got to go. I'm sorry. I'm going to set the hijacker real quick. How does the Oklahoma defense that's so good only have 4 takeaways this year?
We don't want the ball.
Okay.
We like third down stops, but we didn't like them against Ole Miss. But that's really the only thing that we do well.
raise your hand. Anybody like Oklahoma to win? Nobody. We're all taking Tennessee at home.
All right.
I'll take the home
team. Yeah. Tennessee at home at nighttime. That's a hard ask.
Eric, we just gave you the death knell, Eric. It was the clean sweep.
It's done.
Yes.
It's done.
Yes.
By the way, did anybody like Texas against Vandy? Raise your hand. Man, we're all going to take Vanderbilt.
I'll take Texas.
I about said anchor down. I couldn't bring myself to say that.
I just want Caldwell to throw for 320 and 3 touchdowns.
Me too.
I need that more than air.
I need drama.
Let me squeeze this one in here, guys, before we get to the last three games in the last segment. How about Kentucky at Auburn? This is for the degenerates. This is for the people. You got to love football to watch this game.
Yes.
What I haven't looked at the spread on that one. Is there a spread even on this one?
It's Auburn at home at night at Jordan-Hare. So
Cutter
there is
Bowley,
no
one of the
spread
best
listed on
quarterbacks in the
FanDuel.
SEC. You know, he just faced Tennessee's defense. So
Auburn's favored by
5
10 and a half.
touchdowns.
Oh, they're favored by 10.5? I saw that Kentucky offense. They've been doing some stuff, and defense been doing some stuff.
I need Ashton Daniels to throw for 303 touchdowns for the same reason.
That fair. Same. Keep
You need a
Freeze.
slump buster. Play Tennessee's defense. There you go.
But if they lose, do you think that ends up firing Hugh Freeze because of that? Is that the nail in the coffin?
What's
got
going to
to,
happen
man.
is they're gonna win. He's gonna be 5-4, and they're stuck in limbo. You can't get rid of him.
Yeah, I think boosters are starting to get FOMO when it comes to firing their coach. I think that is happening.
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to win, and
is-
they're going to just fire him afterwards. Why? I don't know. It just felt like a thing to do.
They're not
Kentucky
playing
is such a bad
Mississippi
football
State,
team. So.
Yeah. Look, I was at the game at Kentucky 2 weeks ago. They played their butts off against Texas, but that was
They should have won.
Cutter Bowley's going to make so much money in the portal. Oh my God, he's going to make so much money.
Well, we'll see. Kentucky might have a new coach. All right, when we return, guys, we'll get to the other three games happening this weekend. Can Arkansas get a win under Bobby Petrino? We'll talk about that next. Hey, guys, Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride. They've got more IIHS top safety pick awards than anyone else. From footwork to breathwork, athletes sweat all the details. Mazda, they bring this same intention to how they craft every model. And you can feel Japanese craftsmanship in every detail, from the metallic accents to available Napa leather upholstery. You can make everyday drives feel like anything but, from the smooth handling to the intuitive controls. With the all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you can drive with confidence through almost any season. With the weather seasons changing, of course, Mazda, they will take you through any season. Like our players, we sweat every detail, because when you make every move count, impossible becomes irrelevant. Check out Mazda if you're thinking of getting a new vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. All right, gents, squad show rolling along here, and we'll throw John Neighbors a bone here. Mississippi State at Arkansas. Both teams 0-4 in the SEC. Something's got to give. Somebody's going to get an SEC win. John, is it the Hogs?
No. It's just, I mean, you might as well be watching like two Halloween costume kids play Pokemon Go. It's going to be about as great and as fun as that. You maybe had some hope against Auburn, but here's what Arkansas, this is a gas. This is what they're so good at. They're like, hey, where is this team that they're playing against? Is it a team up here? Is it a team down here? Well, wherever they are, we're going to be right here. So if they're up here, we're going to be right here. It's always just a little bit less. But my brothers in Christ, I witnessed a game last week where Arkansas was bad at their defense. They held Auburn to one offensive touchdown and lost by 9. So no, they're not going to win. Leave me alone.
Does anybody else just want to adopt? I'm probably on an island here. You want to adopt Mississippi State? I am rooting. Yeah. So every week I'm rooting for Mississippi State. It's Steven shaking his head. Shocker. They are so freaking close. How can you not like Jeff Lebby? All right, Steven, I know you're a Lebby guy. Okay, but they're right. What an inexcusable, stupid play call at the end there against Florida. I hate that. But it's Mississippi State is so freaking close. They got to get one at some point.
They had the win over Texas. Let's slip away.
They literally had that. You give up 24 points in the fourth quarter.
Offense.
Yeah.
To that offense. You had it in your hands. You just gave victory away.
Don't worry, they'll take care of it this weekend. It'll be fine.
Can I tell you guys, I'm looking at ESPN.com, and you know how they list tickets as low as, Texas Vanderbilt is tickets as low as $111. For Mississippi State, Arkansas, tickets as low as $9. $9 gets you in the door to see this one.
I'm totally going to start.
That's price gouging.
That's price gouging right there.
Surprised by it, as if it's some sort of how did this happen? Why is this going on? I just said in the last segment that Vanderbilt just tied Arkansas for now almost certain they're going to pass them up as having the least amount of SEC wins since 2012 in football. You got nothing. A big old nothing burger. You know how many home games in the SEC that they've won? Arkansas has. They've won one game since 2022, and that was against Tennessee last year. And it doesn't. Again, it does not matter. It does not matter. They will lose, and I just want this season to be over with. I want some new coach. I want to blow up the whole thing because I'm sick and tired of talking about a loser program. I remember Darren McFadden and Ryan Mallett and all the great days, but I'm sick and tired of having to explain to my interns and my company about, yeah, this was a thing that happened once. And it's just so obnoxious that everybody else gets to have fun. I feel like I'm at the kid at the after-school program that all the parents came and picked them up from school, and I'm sitting here wondering by myself on the big toy if my parents forgot me because no one's come to pick me up just yet. Like, everyone else is having fun. Everyone else gets to go home, and what am I doing? I'm sitting here. I have no idea if I'm even going to get picked up or I'm going to get kidnapped.
John, you'll always have Nico running out of bounds with the game on the line and the game clock expiring. You always have that.
Yeah, I was forgotten too.
Twice a day. Great.
Before as a kid. Before. So.
The other part with Arkansas is they currently have the third leading rusher in the SEC in Mike Washington, the third leading passer in the SEC in Taylon Green, and the third leading receiver in the SEC in Omega Blake. Like, you're going to get entertained at least.
Oh, well, good. There's nothing more entertaining than being that team that's entertaining and still sucks and loses. And you can't even lose bad enough to where you got Eric Kane's like, I wants to adopt Mississippi State. That's when you know it's bad. You're even losing, and no one wants to even like you and wants to root for you. You are the worst of all worlds.
Bobby Petrino just really, I don't want to adopt anything with that. Like, just stay away.
You know, my favorite stat right now is the last team that Arkansas beat in the SEC was Mississippi State last year. And the last team that Mississippi State beat was Arkansas the year before. And they're like going back and forth. And that was the 7-3 game, right?
That was a 7-3 game.
No. I hope you'll get James Franklin. That'll get you back on track.
That'd be actually a very good hire. The dude wins. That's the thing.
Don't patronize me.
He just doesn't win he just doesn't win everything. I mean, he would be perfect. He wins games. He recruits well. And Arkansas could use that.
Two more games.
Would be a nice gesture.
Two more games to get to, guys. Stephen, South Carolina at Ole Miss. We saw South Carolina give it their best against Alabama. Probably should have won. Ole Miss back at home. Any letdown here?
I think at this point, I would be extremely surprised if there was a letdown game for Ole Miss. If there is, there's going to be a nuclear explosion down there because basically what I have been saying on my show and in the fan base, next year is here. This is next year. Yeah. And so the Ole Miss fans are going to be excited beyond all comprehension. They're going to be 10-point favorites in all 4 games, and they just need to win 3 of them. And that right there gets you into the college football playoff. I think Ole Miss is going to handle this game. This game is actually a good matchup for Ole Miss. Arkansas, believe it or not, I'm not patronizing you, John. That was not a good matchup for Ole Miss's defense with Mike Washington. Georgia was not a good matchup for Ole Miss's defense. But teams like LSU, teams like Oklahoma that struggle running the football and at least sticking to it, Pete Golding can kind of chew those teams up a little bit. So I think it's going to be difficult for South Carolina, and Ole Miss offensively, they're humming right now. So it's going to be hard for South Carolina to score 20 points, much less the 35 that's going to be likely required.
I'm kind of curious if South Carolina does stick to Faison, Fuller, and Sellers and just really run the ball. They probably should, again, but you're right. They struggle at it, and they struggle at just doing it, like, over and over. Like, I saw Fuller break out a few times in some games, and you're like, okay, may have something, but it's like they forget. I mean, I understand that Lenore Sellers is a giant human being, and I watched him toss our preseason all-conference edge literally with one hand. He threw him off of him and kept running. And I'm just like, God, he's a specimen. But why are you making him throw the ball when you don't have the receivers or the horses to catch it? Hand that dang thing off and just let your running backs figure it out. I don't think they will either. I think Ole Miss has this one, but
you don't really have
it could be. It could be one.
Don't really have an O-line to be able to do that either. Like, they're a mess over there at South Carolina.
Yeah,
they don't really have much. They have Lenore Sellers, and that's about it. Really.
Yeah, Fuller and Faison were definitely disappointments this year. Faison was definitely a disappointment
because they can't protect, they can't move people, and they have no rhythm, no identity, nothing.
And Mike Shula.
Yeah, it looks like
And
Gordy
that's
is frozen,
defensive
so we
flex.
may have lost him for the next
Yeah, I was
moment.
wondering that.
I'll go ahead and take over for him. Who all thinks that South Carolina can upset Ole Miss?
Gordy,
Yep.
you go first. Oh,
Yep.
he's
Gordy,
going.
I figured he fell out, so I'll continue and wrap
He
us
was so
up.
excited he did that.
Sorry,
there
you
he
said
is.
who's picking South Carolina?
Yeah, who's picking South Carolina? Who thinks South Carolina can pull the upset? Hey, Gordy, you're back. You're not fuzzy anymore.
Yeah.
I missed you. Nobody's picking South Carolina. So we're moving on to the last game, Gordy.
Yeah, Georgia, Florida, down in Jacksonville, typically one of the best rivalries in the SEC. We have not seen Florida with a game without Billy Napier. So this is going to be Billy Gonzalez as the interim. I look at Arkansas, I think was a dangerous team going because you don't know what the hell Petrino's going to do. I look at LSU, we don't know what the hell post Brian Kelly's going to be. And I look at Florida and go, what is Florida? They still got talent. You still got DJ Lagway. You still got all these pieces. So
They do.
I don't know, man. I think that line is like Georgia -7. It's wild for a team that fired their coach in Florida.
It makes sense. I would have thought they would have been like a 14-point favorite at home, personally. So this actually is a little bit lower than I actually thought. I thought it was going to be at least a 2-touchdown favorite if it was a home game.
Well, there's Jackson. They always play in
Neutral
Jackson.
site.
Right. No, right. I'm looking at more of the Vegas number, right? The spread itself. It's 7.5. I figured it'd been like more closer to 10 or 11 just because of Florida firing their coach. But at the same time, we are in a situation where a coach was fired, which means the players are going to play out of their minds. So most likely Florida covers this spread in the weirdest way. I do not have faith in them winning it. But I do think they cover it just because, again, it's always that weird scenario where teams play better once they fire a particular coach.
And all conventional wisdom goes out the window with that rivalry. I mean, it's
Similar to
bizarre
Texas.
in a lot of ways.
Egg
And
Bowl.
Georgia dominated it for a little while. Florida dominated it for a little while. Now Georgia's back to dominating it. So it's like goes on these big long strings of who wins, and it's just years where you think it's going to happen, it doesn't, and vice versa. I mean, it's just a topsy-turvy type rivalry.
Yeah, this is a front runner game. If Georgia can get up by a couple of scores early, Florida's going to let go of the rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Georgia's defense has been super dominant this year, too. So if Florida can score some points, put together some drives, they could be in this one.
I just don't have confidence that Florida can score enough points. But certainly, like what Steven said, if Florida gets down a couple of scores early, I mean, it's over. Like there's not enough punch in that offense.
Not picking on you, Eric, but the only game that I have faith that Florida is going to actually show up and look like Florida in is when Tennessee is playing in that stadium.
Or Florida could look like crap and Florida could still win.
Yeah, fair. Because it is at Florida. So
half the games since 2003, especially down there, like they've looked like crap and they've still won.
The Felipe Franks Hail Mary. I will never forget. I was like, oh my gosh, Tennessee's going to win this game, and it's like, what just happened?
Real quick, guys, before we wrap up, I just want to go around the horn real quick. Give me right now, go on record, who's your national championship pick, Jay?
Oh God, great! I appreciate you doing that.
Just off the top of your head, pick a team you think can most likely win the championship right now.
Could most win?
Yeah.
Not in the SEC, right?
Yeah. Anyway, any team.
Any team? Ohio State.
Go with Ohio State, Steven?
I don't know. I'm going. Yeah, seriously.
Go with Vandy?
Georgia.
Okay. Georgia safe pick. Corey?
Yeah.
If it's not Ohio State, it's Alabama, and Vandy's in the playoff.
Okay. John Neighbors?
Indiana.
Okay. I like that. Kurt
Just
Cincinnati.
trying to be
That,
different. Indiana's good. Indiana got a quarterback.
they have to pay him even more.
Yeah, I mean that was.
I got to look for some other crap.
I'll say I don't want to say Ohio State, so I'm with Corey. Give me Alabama.
All right.
Yeah, because every team that Alabama will play in the playoffs is going to have a number next to the name.
Man, nobody's going with the undefeated Aggies, huh? Nobody believes.
God, no.
No, even like the SEC shorts people with the battered Aggie syndrome that they always have there, everybody's expecting something to happen.
Yeah. Anyway, figured that'd be a fun exercise going into Halloween weekend. We'll circle back on this in December or January and see if anybody called it then. But, gents, it's always fun. Remember to follow and subscribe to your favorite SEC team. We'll be covering your favorite team every day throughout the season. And don't forget, I'll have you covered with the whole conference every day with Locked On SEC, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day.
Imagine talking about the Razorbacks every day.
281
I love you, John.
Go Vols.